When I was really young, I was very, very interested in makeup. Not necessarily the kind that my mother wore, but the kind that I saw in music videos. Definitely Halloween makeup, special effects, things like that. Later on in my teen years, I found a drawing that I made when I was very, very young. I don't remember drawing it, but I happened upon it in a treasure chest, if you will, that my mother had of all my stuff. I didn't recognize the picture whatsoever, and I asked her, "What is this? What did I try drawing here?" And she said that you were watching music videos and you were drawing the makeup that the musicians were wearing. And then I remembered watching videos like Been Caught Stealing by Jane's Addiction and having this almost very uncanny sense watching it, because in the video there was a man that dresses in drag and then goes and steals from a convenience store. When I was really young, obviously my schema for men and women, boys and girls, was pretty conservative and pretty solid. A man dressed like a man, a woman dressed like a woman, a boy dressed like a boy, and a girl dressed like a girl, unless of course she was a tomboy. If she was a tomboy, she still looked like a girl, but she dressed like a boy, typically in athleisure attire. But seeing that video by Jane's Addiction kind of threw my schema all out of whack. Now I was confronted with somebody who looked like a man, but also looked like a woman, and I didn't really understand it. And to me, this character felt very, very uncanny. Not repulsive, yet not attractive. I couldn't put my finger on it, and I was very, very confused. I think that fed into my affinity for drawing the faces that I do. I am absolutely obsessed with the human face. I'm enamored by it. I think it's absolutely fascinating, all the faces and all the forms that we can see on a day-to-day basis. This idea of this flawless, airbrushed, makeup counter beauty is very, very strange to me when it seems that the perfection of beauty is something that is so incredibly unachievable and synthetic and fake, and I don't understand why that becomes our litmus test for what is beautiful and what is not. I also think that growing up through the 90s and coming of age in the 90s was very implemental in me developing my style. All of the musical videos, a lot of the skater culture and things like that really kind of rode the line between what was normal and what was absurd. A lot of the bands that you saw that dressed the way they did, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, and a lot of these skater punk type bands, kind of made it okay to be absolutely other. Now, obviously, the 90s was not the only decade that musicians decided to employ unabashed creativity. Remember bands like Dire Straits, all of the hair metal bands and glam rock bands, artists like Peter Gabriel, even Phil Collins and Land of Confusion. Those music videos were always over the top, really, really creative and very, very interesting to me. And it was those videos that were really instrumental for me, no pun intended, for developing my sense of surrealism and for developing my appreciation and my taste for the grotesque, really, for really comical and creepy type faces, and also for really fun and bright and colorful faces. And there has never really been this separation between music and life for me. I'm not a musician. I don't play any instruments, nor do I sing or write music or anything like that. I am through and through a visual artist, but I've always had this need to have music going in my life. Sometimes I do crave the silence, but more times than not, I want something in the background. I need something to kind of stimulate the visual imagery for me, which I then put on the paper. So I remain very, very curious about this idea of developing one's own style. I've had people ask me how I've developed my style, and my answer is really always the same. It comes from years, literally decades, of observing and drawing and maintaining an absolute fascination with the human face and with the human form, and also with how people interact with one another, both personally and socially. So, the absolute best advice that I can give from somebody who has been an artist for literally decades and from somebody who has made their career in teaching art is to find what you are absolutely obsessed with. What holds your attention for hours? Is there anything that you could do for literally an entire day And if you can answer that question with some kind of finite activity, like listen to music or watch music videos, then I think you're going to have the subject matter that you need in order to start creating. I believe that finding our own artistic style comes from accepting the things that we like and who we are outside of the realm of visual arts. So that's the best advice I can give you for finding your own style. If you've liked this video, if you find this story interesting, please go ahead and hit that like. Also, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for making it to the end. I appreciate each and every one of you.